It's Karen, Soltau. So I'm coming as an Oldham County resident, and I've had children in the school systems. My kids are grown now. And also, I'm a therapist, a licensed clinical social worker with a specialty in marriage and family, children, and also trauma. I've worked at Fort Knox with traumatized soldiers, and I've also did 4 years where I was the mental health person for Kentucky Refugee Ministries. And with a lot of refugees, they come here with a lot of trauma. So that's what I'm speaking about today, is about the immigration and ICE and what's been going on. I have a real deep concern about this. On the good side, we do have in this country that every child has a right to an education regardless of immigration status, as guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution and upheld by the Supreme Court. Can everybody hear me? No? Okay. And I had trouble hearing, and I was up pretty close. All right. So that's good. Another part that I think is positive is the Federal Education Rights and Privacy Act prevents schools from releasing students' education records, including information about immigration status. I don't know if that's still true, because week by week, the policies keep changing. I hope it is. So we have, on the negative side, as of January 21st, 2025, Department of Homeland Security ended longstanding federal policy that schools are protected areas, among other places like churches. All previously protected areas have had to think about how to proceed. I think we would all agree on the importance of safe spaces to learn, to worship, to seek medical care. And of course, the first safest place should be your home. So my question, she asked a lot of good questions, but I was hoping you all could actually answer some of them, is, how is Oldham County Schools addressing this? Because is there a written plan? I looked up Oldham County Schools and tried to find what are you saying on your, I didn't find anything. And I don't know if you're giving anything to families, or that families with immigrant status or mixed status can find information or being told about things, because there are things that could help them feel a little safer. And I think they need to come to school like all of our children, going to school and feeling safe. And, a lot of them are scared and worried, and friends are worried and scared. And so, is somebody going to show up at the school? ICE. And if they do, what's your written plan and protocol if ICE shows up? I know previously, and I've been doing work in this immigration area recently, there's been a thing about privacy zones where ICE can't go. So like in the principal's office or where the administration is and things like that. Unless there's a warrant signed by a judge with somebody's particular name. Is that going to change? I don't know. So what are you all doing to reassure families? Are you training teachers about how to deal with things like this? Just like any other incident in a school, now we have to worry, you all have to worry about ICE showing up and what that does to students. And how are you protecting everybody? So the information that you share with families, training for teachers, what are you doing to lessen fear for students from immigrant families and their families? I know of families that are afraid to show up anywhere or at school to pick their children up. And that creates fear for all students and their families. So you really can't learn in an environment if you're scared. So those are things that I like to see, to know what we're doing as Oldham County Schools to make it a safe place where students feel safe. There's actions that Oldham County Schools could do with families to help them feel more supported and give them information where they can feel better. Because I think what happens is if you don't know what to do or where to go, you end up much more fearful. And then do teachers feel they can help their students? Because if there isn't the support of the school system, then teachers feel it's up to them individually to do things that really is outside of their scope, right? So things like helping actions that can help families feel better can be that you update student emergency contact information. You could have information that you give to students and their families, like update student emergency contacts with alternative contacts if no parent or guardian's available. You can encourage making child care arrangements with trusted adult. And they could also, you could have a link to where somebody could get a power of attorney. If a parent's picked up or both parents are picked up, what happens to these children? That's a worry for these families. Making sure that, encouraging people that if they have American-born children, that they're automatically citizens, that they have passports. So if a parent gets deported, they can take their children with them to wherever, if that's what they decide to do. But you can't do that without a passport. So there's things that, and then the really big one is to have a family plan, and you could have a link for a whole section on like immigration and a link for people to look up how do you do a family plan, so they can kind of be proactive about what to do instead of, not having a plan. And if they have a plan, they're going to feel better about what they're doing and what could happen. So information, education, and feeling that Oldham County Schools is there for all the students, including these students.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.